9 a.m. start draws ever closer. The competitors begin to bunch up and stretch out those legs one last time before the 42-kilometre endurance test gets underway. So as the gun goes, a couple of names to watch out for among the elite runners are Herlihy, who won last year's event. He's left of picture in the red vest. And also Lucy Brennan, who won the women's event last year. Each entry in this year's marathon is fitted with an individual timing chip, which is automatically activated as they pass over the starting mats. Each runner, of course, has their own time and target in mind, and each with their chosen charity or special cause in mind. So as we join the leading pack for the first time in the race, just in behind the front few runners, left of picture, the tall figure there of Michael Herlihy in the white vest. He would go on to win the men's event, 28-year-old from Charleville in County Cork, remarkably competing in his first ever race over this distance. The first part and the last part of the race, of course, run on the relatively flat ground in and around Patrick Street and the city centre before they then head out into the hills. Good pace early on, despite the warm conditions. And there you see represented the colours of the famous Leeville Athletic Club here in Cork. One of the relay members setting out on her leg. And as ever with marathons, good camaraderie out on the course between the athletes. And very quickly into his stride and relaxed running, Michael Herlihy. And there's the 2008 winner in the men's event, Herlihy. Coming home last year in a time of 2 hours, 33 minutes and 55 seconds. Once again representing the East Cork Athletic Club. And Colin Merritt, who would go on to finish second at the end of today's event from Carricknavar in Cork. Running well early on. And it's probably worth a mention at this juncture where you see the blue line across the athlete's number on the front of his vest. That's indicating that he's part of a relay team. Where it's red, it indicates the individual competition. As we take a look for the first time in the race of the eventual women's winner, Lucy Brennan from County Sligo. Settled into her running very quickly as she heads across the River Lee, back to defend her title. And not too far behind, this is Nolly Hunter from the Leeville Athletics Club, currently running in second position. She would go on to finish in third at the end of the day. A very good strong run from her. Well, they come from all over the country, running side by side. Two members of the Athenry Athletics Club in Galway. The field just beginning to spread out ever so slightly. And that's Angela McCann from Clonmel, who would finish second behind Lucy Brennan today in a time of 3 hours, 3 minutes and 7 seconds. Diminutive figure. And pushing on at the head of affairs, once again, it's the Sligo woman, Lucy Brennan. Beginning to open up a little bit of a gap. And looking to take advantage of the water stations marked along the course. Get some much needed hydration on board. Michael Herlihy then, making his way into the Jack Lynch tunnel. And no doubt getting some much needed respite from the burning sunshine. It's probably quite cool in there. 670 yards long. Slightly downhill into the tunnel, and then as they come out, a relatively steep incline, albeit a little bit gradual, but it takes it out of the legs of these athletes. Very, very quick over the first half marathon. Back out into the sunshine. And now you see the climb ahead of him. As ever, though, at crucial parts in the race, the support on hand to offer encouragement. And as we look back at Lucy Brennan, you see that incline just out of the Jack Lynch tunnel, but she's still looking very comfortable in her running. Well, it's always a great day out for the club runners as a couple more come through in the men's relay event. This year's race starts and finishes on Patrick Street in the city centre, and while the elite runners begin to settle into their stride, stretch their legs and leave the city behind them, there are still thousands of fun runners pounding the pavements back towards the start-finish line. Organisers dubbed this year's race the Marathon for Everyone, and while record numbers took part, there was also a huge crowd thronging the course to offer support and encouragement, which was especially welcome given the heat. So stay with us. In part 2 we'll have the conclusion of the 2009 Bord Gáis Energy Cork City Marathon. Welcome back. We pick up our coverage of this year's Bord Gáis Energy Cork City Marathon at the 14-mile marker on Victoria Street. This is the fourth relay point on the course, where lots of weary bodies finish their section and hand over to fresh legs before taking a well-deserved rest. As ever, though, encouragement was never too far away as supporters lined the water stations. There was even a bit of music to help lift the spirits.
Very, very warm, obviously. It was very hard under the tunnel up through the hill. I lost a bit of time there, but I'm happy to have it done now, you know, and a bit of a colour as well, so it can't be too bad.
Well, I'm running for Cork Cancer Research. It's for my aunt, so a few of my cousins and my family got together. We said we'd run the marathon. We do a relay team between each other. There's no way any of us to do it by ourselves, so it'd be easier just to do it as a group, you know.
We're running for the Clare Crusaders charity, which is in aid of cerebral palsy, a Clare-based charity that was set up by the late Howard Flannery. So we've been doing a number of marathons now over the last number of years. So we're doing the relay race here today.
A young lad from Macroom, Daniel Kingston, he passed away in February. He had cancer, and he was friends with some of my buddies that I live with just through college. And I think there's around 500 people running for the charity today.
We're a group of cancer survivors who decided, look, we'll raise the profile of cancer sufferers and show them that even though you might be diagnosed with it or you might be living with it, you might have had treatment, whatever, you can get out and do something. You don't have to be as intense as this, but if you do something, it'll aid your survival and your life afterwards. It gives a positive aspect to it.
Back then with 50-year-old Lucy Brennan from Sligo, last year's winner. She won the Fit for Life Sligo mini marathon the week before this event, so preparations clearly going very well, and it showed in her running all day. Michael Herlihy takes some water on board as well. Spent 3 years down in Australia, so more than most he's probably a little bit accustomed to the high temperatures, and so it would prove on the day as well. Would you believe only decided to put in his entry on the very last day, the closing date for applications. Didn't he do so well as we watch some of the relay runners pass on the armband and get moving on the next leg. Angela McCann still going very comfortably. Keeping up a very steady pace, as is this woman, Nolly Hunter. Interesting story. Only took up running really in 2006, ran the Cork City Marathon for the first time in 2007, finished in 6th position, would you believe? Obviously a natural and a fast learner. In her mid-30s, she's an example to anyone who thinks about taking up running over any distance. It's a very picturesque course, the Bord Gáis Energy Cork City Marathon, as the leader Michael Herlihy crosses another bridge and gets ever closer to the finish line. So as the elite runners were closing in on Patrick Street and the finishing line, further back the bulk of the field were settling into their running on the country roads, including Sonia O'Sullivan. Most, it seemed, enjoying the sunshine and going through a good patch of running.
Is there still no chance to lift?
So the noise will tell you that this is the site of Michael Herlihy from County Cork, rounding the final bend and making his way toward the finish line. Not too far behind him comes Colin Merritt from Carrignafar. One final push now from these athletes. The start-finish line almost in sight now for Herlihy. Tremendous support, and this is where a little bit extra in the legs comes out. The adrenaline's pumping. You can see the finish line, and perhaps he can hardly believe that in his first ever marathon he's going to claim the winner's title in a very fast time of 2 hours, 30 minutes and 34 seconds. Congratulations to Michael Herlihy from Cork. Second place to another Corkman, Colin Merritt, coming in just 4 minutes behind, and another very popular finish. Tremendous run. And coming home strongly to take third position, Wisław Sosnowski of the Eagle Athletic Club. He ran with the Eagle Club here in Ireland for a number of years before going back home to Poland, and he's back in Cork today specifically to run the Cork City Marathon on a very strong finish. The rest of the competitors out on the course are making their way back towards the city centre and those final few miles. This is where it gets increasingly tough for marathon runners. This is the stage of the race where they hit the wall as their body's glycogen stores run low and they begin to dehydrate. They start to feel the impact on their knees and hips, and it's here where the support out on the streets really matters so much.
Well done, Michelle, just coming to the line as well. The last 4 finish shots now, but it's really at the marathon. There we go, Cal just coming through as well.
The atmosphere out there is fantastic. Right coming down through Blackrock Village, it was outstanding. Everybody out there clapping and cheering you on. And there was a bit of a Kaylee band on the Centre Park Road, which got us going as well, a bit like Riverdance, but it was fantastic.
It was brilliant. It was really, really great fun out there, and everybody was just so nice. You know, I mean, I was passing so many people, and they were all cheering for me, and I was thinking, no, you've done a great job. You're running the whole way. So it was just so nice, and everybody was so nice, and I think an absolutely fantastic day for Cork.
Delighted to finish. Great feeling coming in to finish together. The four of us came in together. We're missing one, but it was lovely just coming in Pat Street together. Great feeling, I've done 19 marathons, but this gave me a much greater sense of achievement. We're all survivors of cancer, and it was fabulous.
So the Bord Gáis Energy Cork City Marathon draws to a close for another year. Lots of tired legs, but plenty to be cheerful about. A record number of entries, a huge turnout along the course route to support those taking part. As ever, a lot of money raised for charity, and all in glorious sunshine on the bank holiday weekend. Congratulations once again to all those who took part, and the best of luck for next year.